of the National Security Advisor, who briefed the President of Russia during his visit to St. Petersburg. All of these are, and most recently, I may have mentioned the Prime Minister's meeting with President Zelensky on the sidelines of the UNGA in New York. All of these signify India's attempt to continue to remain in touch with key actors, key interlocutors, and gauge the possibility of finding a peaceful path to end the conflict, and also perhaps look for alternative approaches that may not currently be on the table or may not be currently under examination by the two parties. And I think we will continue to stay in touch with all parties, given that we are amongst the few interlocutors that have the comfort and the ability to speak on all sides, or speak with actors on all sides of the conflict. And as I may have said earlier, the President Putin appreciated the role that India was playing, and promised to stay in close touch with Prime Minister in connection with India's efforts. Sahil and Vishal, I think your questions essentially relate to the same point with regard to the clarification that you sought insofar as what patrolling will entail under the agreement that was reached yesterday. Well, what it will entail is that in the pending areas under discussion, patrolling and indeed grazing activities, wherever applicable, will revert to the situation as it obtained in 2020. Incidentally, I should say that this is also what the External Affairs Minister was talking about yesterday when he was speaking at the NDTV World Summit, I think. And as to the other part of your question, what the as far as the disengagement agreements reached previously are concerned, those agreements were not reopened in these discussions. The agreement that was reached yesterday, very early yesterday morning, was focused on issues that had remained outstanding in the last couple of years. So that is what I would say at this point in time. विशाल, ये आपके सवाल का, आपके प्रश्न का भी उत्तर इसमें है. जैसे मैंने कहा कि जो आपने सवाल पूछा था कि पेट्रोलिंग पे जो समझौता कल हुआ है उसके माने क्या हैं, तो उसके माने ये हैं कि जो कुछ सवाल रह गए थे जिनके बारे में पिछले 2 साल से बातचीत चल रही थी, तो वहाँ पे पेट्रोलिंग और ग्रेजिंग जहाँ पे भी वो लागू हो, तो वो वाली जो स्थिति है वो 2020 की स्थिति वहाँ पे बहाल हो जाएगी. और मैं ये भी कह रहा था कि कल जब विदेश मंत्री एनडीटीवी वर्ल्ड समिट के मौके पे बोल रहे थे तो उनका तात्पर्य भी इसी से था. और जो मेरे ख्याल से साहिल का प्रश्न था ये भी कि जो पहले अग्रीमेंट्स हुई हैं उस पे क्या असर पड़ेगा कल की अग्रीमेंट का, तो जो पहले की अग्रीमेंट्स हैं उसके बारे में इन जो अभी चर्चा समाप्त हुई है उसमें पहले की अग्रीमेंट्स को फिर से हमने खोला नहीं. ये चर्चा जो थी ये पेंडिंग अग्रीमेंट्स पे जो आउटस्टैंडिंग इश्यूज थे उनको लेके थी.
Manish Chand, India Rights Network. Foreign Secretary, this will be the first structured meeting, probably, the first structured meeting between Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping since the Galwan clashes. Yeah. Now, will it lead to, I mean, what is the assumption on which you are going ahead? Will it lead to a revival of the dialogue process? Because there were, as far as I remember, there are more than 20 theme-specific, sector-specific dialogue before the relations were disrupted. That's number one. Number two, on meeting between Prime Minister Modi and President Putin, I believe expansion of the grouping was discussed. What is your view on the candidacies of, say, for example, Turkey and Pakistan, and the broad big picture, how we are approaching, because there are a lot of competing narratives about the expansion. Thank you.
सर नमस्कार, मेरा नाम आरेंद्र है, मैं दूरदर्शन न्यूज से हूं और मेरा दो सवाल है सर। पहला ये कि जो चीन के साथ में पेट्रोलिंग की पुरानी व्यवस्था को लागू करने पर सहमति बनी है, क्या उसको लेकर कोई समय सीमा भी है कि उसको कब तक लागू किया जाएगा? मेरा दूसरा सवाल इस बात को लेकर है कि ईरान के राष्ट्रपति के साथ जो मुलाकात हुई है प्रधानमंत्री मोदी की, वेस्ट एशिया में जो संघर्ष जो बढ़ता हुआ नजर आ रहा है, उसमें शांति स्थापना को लेकर किस प्रकार के बिंदुओं पर बात हुई और भारत के इन शांति के प्रयासों में किसी प्रकार के रोल को लेकर अगर कोई बात हुई, थोड़ा उस पर विस्तार चाहेंगे। थैंक यू सर।
Sir, Dhairya Maheshwari from Sputnik India. Sir, with regards to the meeting with the Iranian president, would it be possible to know if there was a discussion on linking the Chabahar port to the INSTC? And what are the challenges we are facing, in doing so? And sir, on the meeting with President Putin, sir, was there any word on the revival of the RIC format? I mean, from the Russian side, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Valentina Schwartzman, RBC. Could you please comment on the Bloomberg report saying that India opposes a new expansion of BRICS, fearing that it might become sort of an anti-US body? And also, additionally, could you please say whether there has been any progress on the issue of the accumulation of rupees in India's banks as the result of proceeds from the deals with Russia? Has this issue been resolved in any way? And is how much of these rupees are still remain in Indian banks? Thank you.
Thank you. I think I missed answering one of Siddhant's questions from the earlier lot about the focus in the BRICS summit. So yes, as you said, I think one of the focus areas is, I wouldn't say the expansion of BRICS, but what we are discussing right now, which is the modalities and guidelines for implementing a partner country model with BRICS. So that is one of the focus areas for this summit. Beyond that, of course, I would imagine that there will be a lot of discussions between the leaders on the key themes and the key vectors within BRICS on political and strategic issues, on economic, trade and financial issues, and on people-to-people and cultural relations. I don't want to preempt and prejudge what will be the actual outcomes of the summit tomorrow. And my colleague, Secretary Economic Relations, will be here at some point tomorrow to brief you on BRICS in detail. And that will include the developments with regard to alternative payment mechanisms, etc., which are all being discussed in the BRICS task force on payments, which has 3 or 4 different streams working within it. Manish, you asked about what will the meeting between Prime Minister and President lead to. I think I can only ask you at this moment to be patient. I will not be able to preempt or preview the outcome of the meeting, but we should hopefully have some details to offer tomorrow. With regard to discussions between Prime Minister and President Putin on some of the issues that are being discussed in BRICS on membership, as I said, there is a partner country model that is under discussion. The guidelines, modalities, and the parameters of this model are under discussion. As I am given to understand, this is something that is still a work in progress at this point in time, so I don't want to go beyond my brief and comment on something that is still under discussion. Again, there might be developments later today or tomorrow that it would be more appropriate to speak about these at that point. Harind, your question on आपने पूछा था कि इसमें कोई टाइम लिमिट है क्या जो समझौता हुआ है. समझौते के कई पहलू हैं जो एक तो डिप्लोमेटिक लेवल पे जो बातचीत हुई है, मिलिट्री लेवल पे बातचीत हुई है, इन सभी चीज़ों को समझौते में रखा गया है और आने वाले दिनों में आपको इसके बारे में और डिटेल्स मिल सकती हैं, लेकिन अभी मैं इससे ज़्यादा नहीं कहना चाहूँगा. जहाँ तक ईरान के साथ जो प्रधानमंत्री जी की राष्ट्रपति पेजेश्कियान से बातचीत हुई है, जी हाँ, शांति वार्ता की जो आवश्यकता है पश्चिमी एशिया में, उसके बारे में काफ़ी गहरी बातचीत हुई उनसे. ईरान के राष्ट्रपति ने जोर दिया इस बात पे कि वे शांति वार्ता के और शांति के पक्ष में हैं, और प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने उनसे कहा कि भारत हमेशा से शांति चाहता आ रहा है, और चूंकि भारत की इस क्षेत्र में जितने देश हैं, और उन्होंने 6-7 देशों के नाम गिनाए और उनके लीडर्स के साथ जो उनकी बातचीत हुई है उसके बारे में थोड़ा उन्होंने ब्यौरा दिया और बताया कि कैसे वो शांति वार्ता के पक्ष में सभी लीडर्स से बातचीत समय समय पे करते आ रहे हैं, और भारत एक तरह से ये भूमिका कई साल से निभाता आ रहा है और आगे भी निभाएगा. Dhari, your question on linking Chabahar and INSTC, yes, this has been something that has been a subject of discussion for some time. There are certain logistical issues involved in it, but I don't think that as a principle there is any question about the utility and the value that would be derived by linking Chabahar to the INSTC. It is something that we have discussed with a number of interlocutors, but there are certain logistics and infrastructure issues that are involved in this. Having earlier this year signed the main contract on Chabahar between Iran and India, I would imagine that movement towards this objective would be possible in the not too distant future. Your second question on the revival of Russia, India, China trilateral in the meeting with President Putin, no, this did not come up in today's meeting. I think there was a question on, if I got you correctly, that there is an impression that India opposes BRICS expansion. I think that is a completely misplaced and erroneous impression. Last year, when BRICS was expanded, we were very much in the middle of that exercise and very, very closely involved in that exercise. And the very fact that practically every country that entered as a member of BRICS last year has expressed their appreciation to India for the role that we played, only goes to testify what our stance with regard to BRICS expansion is. And I might add that it's the same role that we are playing in terms of contributing constructively to the discussions around the BRICS partner country discussion that is going on. About your question on rupees in Indian banks, I don't have the details immediately with me in terms of the quantum, but yes, these balances are there in special Vostro accounts that have been created under RBI regulations, and they are essentially aimed at enabling the trade between India and Russia to proceed in a smooth manner. But I think the details, perhaps when Secretary Economic Relations is here tomorrow, he might be able to give you more details on this.
We had a question there. Yeah, please.
Foreign Secretary, my name is Pavel Tsukanov. I'm from the Russian TASS news agency. Recently, the BRICS pay mechanism was introduced. In this regard, my question is, 1, can it be considered a viable alternative to the SWIFT interbank messaging system? 2, will India participate in this initiative? And if so, do you believe it could soon facilitate settlements in bilateral trade, such as for energy resources? Thank you.
Gaurav?
सर नमस्कार, मेरा नाम गौरव सावंत है। आई वर्क फॉर इंडिया टुडे एंड आज तक। सर, चीन के रुख में ये परिवर्तन आया कैसे आपकी दृष्टि में, और जब पेट्रोलिंग दोबारा रिज्यूम होगी तो फिर बॉर्डर पे ट्रूप्स के क्लैशेस ना हो जाए, क्या इसका भी कोई मैकेनिज्म है? और डिसएंगेजमेंट तो हो रहा है, क्या डी एस्केलेशन और डी इंडक्शन की भी बात हो रही है?
Kazan, you had a question? No. Sir.
So, to your question on, if I got you correctly, spoke about BRICS payment mechanism having been introduced. I must confess I am not aware of an alternative payment mechanism having been introduced, as especially insofar as, if I take the second part of your question, especially as an alternative to SWIFT. What I do know is that there are some discussions that are going on within BRICS in terms of local currency settlement of trade. This is something that we have encouraged, and in the discussions between officials on the finance track within BRICS, this is something that has been discussed as a possibility. And to start with, I think this might be something that could happen bilaterally between BRICS partners and could slowly be expanded to the multilateral plane amongst the BRICS countries, thus limited thus far to trade. How it can move to other areas of financial engagement between BRICS countries is something that I understand is still under study. There are a number of research projects that have been commissioned into these areas, because as you will understand, it entails it would entail a number of changes in the financial mechanism and financial infrastructure of the different BRICS countries. So insofar as the local currency settlement of trade-related issues is concerned, yes, that is something that is being discussed and encouraged within BRICS. But beyond that, I think we still have some work to do. Gaurav, आपका जो सवाल है कि ये रुख कैसे बदला, how did these things change? मेरे विचार में ये सवाल इस समय थोड़ा सा प्रीमेच्योर है. अभी जो अरेंजमेंट्स और अभी तक जो समझौता हुआ है उसे पहले हमें ग्राउंड पे इम्प्लीमेंट करना है. ये एनालिसिस कि ये कैसे हुआ, इसको मेरे विचार में बाद में देख सकते हैं. आपने कहा कि जो आगे फेस ऑफ्स न हो, क्लैशेस न हो, उनको कैसे रोका जाए. मेरे विचार में बहुत ही ये एक अहम आपने सवाल, एक अहम मुद्दा उठाया है, और हमारी आशा है और हमारा प्रयत्न रहेगा कि जो अरेंजमेंट्स वर्कआउट हुए हैं, जिन पे समझौता हुआ है, वो ऐसे अरेंजमेंट्स हो जिनसे इस तरह के क्लैशेस रुक सकें जो पीछे हुए हैं कहीं कहीं पे लाइन ऑफ एक्चुअल कंट्रोल के पास. तो इसमें आगे हमें देखना पड़ेगा और लगातार प्रयत्न करना पड़ेगा, लगातार कोशिश करनी पड़ेगी कि जो मैकेनिक्स हो जो अग्रीमेंट के, वो ऐसे रहें कि इस तरह के जो क्लैशेस हैं उनको रोका जा सके. जहां तक आपका अंतिम प्रश्न है कि डिसएंगेजमेंट हो गया है या हो रहा है, और डी एस्केलेशन और डी इंडक्शन की बात कहाँ आती है, मैं फिर से यही कहूंगा कि अभी हमें पहले डिसएंगेजमेंट पे फोकस करना है और डी एस्केलेशन और डी इंडक्शन की बातें सही समय पे होंगी. Thank you all.
With that, we come to the closure of this session. Thank you very much for your presence, and thank you, sir, for taking out time for our friends in the media. Have a good evening.